Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, August 4th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this would be a video for you. First off, a couple of quick clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, OPEN, open. And this has been one that remains on a lot of people's watch list. And today, it's certainly end of the week on a very, very solid note. It had, and to build a little bit more context, on Thursday, the price had actually come all the way down here. And this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched past videos. But been talking about that $1.81 mark as a key area of support. And basically bounced off it right there. So good to see that it did respect that level and then got the very nice bounce. So yes, there's still a whole lot more work that needs to be done, but it's certainly headed in the right direction and actually have a nice little pattern here that has formed. So let's get this drawn into play. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. And now this is not the cleanest pattern, but it's still there. And let's keep it one color to make it easier to see. So resistance, support, nice move right here. And then for you golfers, make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down here. And this would be a bull pennant pattern. Just because it's a bull pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed it's going to go upwards. But is it valid? Is it plausible to think that it might do something like this and then break out to the upside? Certainly a plausible scenario. So again, is that guaranteed to happen? No. But is it a worthwhile scenario? As a question to throw out there, absolutely. So great way to end the week. Got the bounce off of that area. Now it's got the bull pennant formation. So let's see if the price can maybe get a breakout next week. Next one, TNON. And this one's looking pretty rough. Now, depending on your perspective, but certainly if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, and that bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within a few minutes, then yeah, the chart's looking very bad for you. But from a bigger picture, the chart's hanging in there. It's still got an opportunity to build a higher base. But that's also why these moving averages down here are very, very important. Purple line being the 50-period moving average, pink line being the 200-period. And those are just areas where, from a general standpoint, if you want the chart to be able to make any sort of argument at all that the bulls are still in control, then the price has got to stay above those areas. But if you're not yet in it and you like to kind of play these situations where things are looking kind of ugly and then all of a sudden they turn around, then yeah, this is a very interesting level. Not that there's any guarantees of the price going down there and bouncing, but I don't think anybody would be shocked if the price were to bounce off of one of those moving averages. So you could create yourself a very nice risk versus reward scenario. Now, of course, if you're an undisciplined trader, then, you shouldn't be trading at all, but you definitely should not even be thinking about situations like this. But if you are a disciplined trader and you like to try to structure yourself those pullback buys when everything else is looking like the end of the world, and then all of a sudden things turn around, then yeah, this is definitely a scenario that could probably fit that bill. So like I said, if you're disciplined and if you like these sorts of scenarios, keep an eye on it. Next one, RAYA, and nice mover today. Got absolutely beat down here, but since then has tried to curl back upwards and made some progress on the day. And I think the easiest way to, just because I realize me just saying progress is just the word, but that's why I like charts. They allow you to take words and make them very visual. So when I say progress and to continue to watch that progress next week, I think the best way to do that is via this trend line right here. Meaning as long as the price, let me change that to green for support, but as long as the price does stay above that trend line, then the price is indeed making progress, because the price could come down here, come up here, come down here, come down, and it could go through big swings, but as long as each one of these swings remains above that trend line right there, then that would just keep up with, well, the trend of what's been going on by putting in those higher bases. So I would say the healthiest way to gauge the current upwards move back in the bullish direction is just to watch that green line. And as crazy as it may get, at the end of the day, if the price is still above that trend line, then everything's still healthy, because that implies that the price is building higher bases. In terms of levels of resistance, public enemy number one heads in next week, going to be that purple line right there. 50-period simple moving average, currently valued at, we'll call it 0.109. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, credit where credit's due. Slowly, surely making its way back upwards. Can this trend continue into next week? We'll see what happens. Next one here, LOBO, and a little bit of a disappointing afternoon. Now, it's not like the entire chart's destroyed, but yeah, this pullback here, the chart would look a lot healthier had the price, closed back up over the dollar mark area. So again, I'm not saying that this section right here destroys the chart, but also not to, kind of paint too rosy of a picture. That's also kind of rough, but we'll see if the price can try to maintain now and build a higher base. As far as areas of resistance, Got to think a lot of people have drawn that trend line right there, so keep an eye on that in terms of the main battleground. And then in terms of areas of support, ideal level that you want to see hold strong now moving forward right there around the 70-cent mark. Now, if the price falls below 70 cents, I'm not going to call that a do or die level. I would certainly say the do or die levels are down here at these moving averages, specifically at, we'll call it the 52-cent mark. And I'm not saying this will occur, but if the price were to come down here and then break down through those moving averages, all of a sudden the price is right back to where it started. I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that start here, make big moves, and then go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine strength. So again, I'm not saying that's what's going to occur, but that is why I would say right there around that 52-cent mark, very, very important level. But yeah, disappointing close here as it rolled back over. But again, to be fair, from the overarching standpoint, still plenty of opportunity to build a higher low. Next one here, looking at NVDA, and a rough move today for sure. But again, it all is about perspective, because today, think about that word, means one day. Looking at multiple days, the trend is still up, but nonetheless, certainly had a big pullback. It actually broke down below that support zone that had been doing such a good job of holding strong. So I'm just going to go ahead and, in fact, let's just clean up all these areas, because at this point, I think it's best to try to keep this as clean as possible. So certainly the key area of support now moving into next week is going to be that pink line right there, 200 period moving average. So far, so good. The price is doing a good job of respecting it. But next week, if the price were to go down to that pink line and then start to separate further and further below, again, am I saying that NVIDIA chart is destroyed? No, but that would just be further and further evidence that the bulls are losing control and that the bears are gaining control. So next week, right around that 172.70 mark is going to be an important area of support. If there is any sort of attempted bounce, then key priority now will just be that purple line right there, 50 period moving average. And this is just a basic rule in charting that when levels of support are broken, they tend to act as resistance. And you can see it did its best right there to hold as support, but with the gap down below, this would now be expected to be a resistance. So the 177 mark will be that initial area of resistance next week. So yes, today, no doubt about it, rough day, but big picture wise, trend is still up, and we'll see if the price can maintain above that pink line or not. Real quick, want to take a break and give you a solution to a potential problem that I remember having and that a lot of people do still have, and that is because of that pattern day trader rule. So if you would like to be a day trader, and I'm defining day trader as having unlimited day trades every single day, well then this is a solution that could help you out, because the market here that you would be involved in has zero pattern day trader rule, not to mention it's open 23 hours a day, 6 days a week, and it is what I am doing. So I've put my money where my mouth is. This is the exact same thing and what I'm doing, and I absolutely love it. And if you want to see it live, then I have also been live streaming, if you're unaware, starting every day at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and then I go for a few hours. So like I said, if you are somebody that wants to be a day trader, but you are annoyed by that pattern day trading rule, and you just want to move stuff that moves very, very volatilely and very smoothly, then certainly check out the link that you've been seeing at the top of the screen. I'll also put it down below. Let me know if you have any questions. But like I said, worst case scenario, if you're a little skeptical, then no problem. Come watch me on the live stream. Next one here, IXHL, and as far as I'm concerned, this one, not totally, but is, I would now classify this in the pump and dump category. Now, I don't mean that in the sense of the company's a scam. I just mean it strictly from a price action standpoint. So if we look where this big old breakout started, basically happened right here. You could argue maybe it started a little bit lower, but close enough, started there. Absolutely, to give credit's due, very, very impressive move. And my definition of a pump and dump is a price makes an awesome move, and then within a relatively small amount of time, goes back to where it started. Now, is this a small amount of time? I mean, kind of, but that far up, and then within the course of basically a week, where's the price gone? Well, the price is now sitting right here, and not to insult your intelligence, but when you match that up, and I know it's behind my ugly mug over there, but its price is basically right back to where it all started. Now, just because it's a pumping up does not mean another nice move can't start. I'm not saying that momentum can't return to it. But as far as, this movement over here, was it true? Was it the start of something way bigger? Well, no, you can't say that. The price at this point has gone right back to where it was. So if you were to say, Clay, summarize this for me, I would say as far as this one is concerned right now, game over, pump and dump. Hopefully you didn't, marry the thing. Hopefully you just dated it, you traded it. And we'll see if maybe there's another surge that comes. But as of right now, I would just call it, game over, pump and dump. Next one here, BTAI, and same exact thing. So I'm going to go through this quicker, but I would say this is also a pump and dump. Again, I don't mean that I'm not saying the company's a scam, but what was the definition I just gave? Price makes a really nice move, and then within a relatively small amount of time, price goes back to where it was. So where is this movement before it started? Well, the price was right here. And then yes, I think we can all agree that there was a very, very impressive move. And then what about going back within a small amount of time? Considering this all happened in the same day, hopefully we can agree this happened in a small amount of time. But where did it go? Well, the price hit there, and it's now sitting right there. And when you combine that over here, the price has quite literally gone right back to where it was. So can another move start? Sure, of course, another nice move can always come. But as far as the action today is concerned, I would just chalk it up to a one-day wonder pump and dump. Next one here, EQ, and not a good final, well, I was going to say really pretty much final hour, because here is 30 minutes, and then here are the final 30 minutes. So combine these, final hour of the day, very, very rough. But to be fair, the price could still build a higher base. So if the price goes down a little bit more and consolidates there, well, then you'd have the previous set of lows right there. And if you envision those as stair steps, and you could still make the argument that the stair steps are still progressing in the upwards direction. But you also have to be realistic about things. This movement here, definitely a buzzkill. I mean, it closed at the low that final 30 minutes. Now, if you're someone that likes to play those kind of opportunities in the ugly, because this is looking pretty ugly right now, and going back to you better be a disciplined trader, but if this thing gets ugly enough to get down to those moving averages, do you get one of these situations where it gets there, everybody panics out, and then all of a sudden you get some sort of reprieve bounce? Then potentially. Again, that's not guaranteed, which is why I'm harping, you better be a disciplined trader, because if this comes down and continues to crash, you don't want to turn yourself into a bag holder. But if you can be a disciplined trader, if you like these sorts of kind of opportunity in the ugly situations where you can structure a nice risk reward, then keep an eye on it. Next one here, SOXS. Going to go through this a little quicker because you've already heard me talk about this pattern, so I want to respect your time as much as possible. So there's our area of resistance. There is our area of support. And then just to make sure everybody can see it, let's keep it the same color. So we have resistance, we have support, we have the nice upwards move right there. We have the golf hole down here. So we have here a multi-day bull pennant pattern. So like I said earlier, just because something's bullish in pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed it's going to go upwards. But would it be shocking? Is it a crazy question to throw out this scenario that if it breaks right there, that could create some upside buying pressure? By no means would I say that that is some sort of irrational scenario. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watched previous videos, but if you did, have been talking about that 385-ish area as a key level of support from back here. And to give credit where credit's due, yes, it was a red day today, but it did a good job of ultimately holding strong there as support, and then once again this afternoon holding that support. So far so good, 385 continues to hold strong, and that'll certainly be a very important level of support going into next week, so keep a close eye on that. In the event the price falls down below it though, the next key area of support that you'd want to keep a close eye on will then be down there right around the 297.75 mark. So if anything, maybe just call this a support zone heading into next week. And this is a support zone where, again, I'm not going to say it's end of the world if the price drops down through it, but if it does, that would be a pretty big sign of evidence that the bears are gaining quite a bit more strength. In terms of areas of resistance, yes, you have this area right here, but I'm going to actually do is drag this down here because I think the higher priority area of resistance right now is going to be right around that 306 mark. And then if the price breaks above 306, you can start to focus on other areas of resistance. But one step at a time, let's just first see if the price can even stay above the support zone before you start focusing on, doing battle with too many areas of resistance. But yeah, good to see that the price did respect that area of support, but overall, a rough week. So that wraps up the top 10 stocks. Again, if you are sick and tired of the pattern day trend rule, you want to trade something that moves way quicker than penny stocks, way quicker than small caps, then check out the link here because I'm telling you, this market moves and it moves quick. And if you're wanting to be able to get started with very little amount of money required up front, then check out that link. But again, like I said earlier, if you are skeptical, if you think this sounds a little too good to be true, I totally get it. Like I said, if you want to see it live and in action, then make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you can be made aware of when I do go live, or just remember that I've been live streaming every day at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So come check it out. Ask me questions. I'd be happy to answer anything that you have. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that like button and have a great weekend.